pretty much in anything in this game. They played tough, they played smart, they didn't turn it over, they made shots when they needed to, they rebounded. They got ahead, I think that helped, especially when you're on the road, you kind of want to get ahead. And, that's an experienced team. Very few teams are that experienced. They got 3 senior starters in the front line and 2 fifth-year seniors, junior guard, sophomore guard. I think it's an experienced team.
What do you think of the
change since Jackson's gotten more involved?
Well, Jackson, first of all, he's really a good player. I mean, he's very good at both ends of the floor. He can create, he can score, and he can defend. He's tough, and he's got a body that enables him to play that style. And they can still go 8 deep, which I think is important.
What do you stress defensively when you're going up against a team like Wisconsin, who in recent games they've done a better job of not turning the ball over?
What we have to be able to do is just continue to defend the way we've been defending. I mean, if you can turn them over, that's great. But you got to make them miss, and you got to give them one. It's all said and done.
What does Jackson bring, and how do you think he's acclimated himself? Because he had to replace Gasser, who replaced Jordan Taylor.
The thing about Jackson that was impressive to me is he's not afraid to shoot the ball at the end of the game. So he's not a guy who's subbing in for somebody else. He's a guy that looks at himself like, I belong here. I'm supposed to be a starter. I'm one of the better players in the league. He carries himself that way with a little bit of a swagger that you need if you're that guy who not only, forget about Gasser, somebody else was Marsh was starting before that.
Milson's healthy now. Do you think that's the main reason why he's playing so well right now? It just seems like he's so.
Well, he's moving so much better.
When you look at Ben Brust, is this what you thought he would do 2 years or 2.5 years into his career?
When I watched him, I thought he could play both guard spots. And for the first 2 years, he was pretty much a 2 only. And what you're seeing him do now is really deliver the ball and drive and kick and take care of it. And he's leading them in assists. His turnovers aren't that high, so he's got a good ratio there. Yet he can still score. So what you're seeing, a guy is comfortable in his junior year, knows the system, knows what's required of him, and has accepted that role and is fulfilling it well.
When you talk about patience against a team like Wisconsin, which makes you earn about every basket, is that one of the things you talk to your freshman point guards right away that, I mean, you do anyway, but is it heightened because of this?
I'm not as concerned about patience as I am. We want to get a good shot. If you can get a good shot 5, 6 seconds into the shot clock, if it's a good shooter taking a good shot, he's open, shoot it. Patience doesn't always equate to we got a good shot that time. We just ran the clock down. You might get a worse shot than you had 13 seconds ago. So I think against them, it's good shots that have a chance to go in.
Against a team like Wisconsin that wants to slow down, you still got to look to push the pace.
We are, and I think they're looking to push it a little bit more than they have. I think Jackson's involved in that. And they're pushing the ball. I mean, they've got guys that can run. They aren't afraid to go a little bit more. I mean, the scores would indicate they're still kind of where they were, but they're a little bit more than an opportunistic running team than they've been in the past.
What can Adam do to be a little bit more consistent in terms of scoring?
He's just got to concentrate and finish. I mean, he's got to attack the rim. He's flipping it up there a little bit occasionally and fading away a little bit. Those are common mistakes for a young big guy. But he's working. I mean, he's rebounding. He's playing phenomenal defense. I mean, he's been tremendous. It's unfortunate that he's missing some shots that he would normally make. Then you'd be talking about how great he's been, because he'd be double-doubles. But he's performing exactly like we hoped he would.
Do you worry about that offense maybe impacting his psyche a little bit?
I think you always do, because he knows he's missing shots that he's capable of making. It's different if you're missing threes. I missed a 3, but if you miss a close one, it's what you're supposed to make a close one. Everybody knows that. he knows that, and he will, and he has. So I'm not worried about that aspect of it. We just stay positive with it.
How much easier is it for you knowing that you've got juniors coming off the bench that are playing the way they are and they seem to really accept their roles?
It's a great feeling to have, because these guys don't have it. And the other thing is, we have offense that come off the bench. A lot of times you go to your bench and you have tough guys, experienced guys that can help you win, but then you might have a scoring drought because you don't have the offense. That's why the guys who are starting typically. But we have, I think, equal performance coming off the bench in terms of offense, and in some games it might be even more, especially when Zach and Melson and Josh playing where people will play. Eric's been tremendous. And, I think more as a passer than as a scorer, but we know he can score, and he has scored a little bit.
What kind of emotions do you think within the building are?
I think there'd be tremendous emotion in the building. There'd be between 60 and 80 members of the street family at the game. And anybody that was from that era will remember him. And the fact that we're celebrating his life more so than remembering his death, I think that's the critical thing. And I think that's what the street family wants us to do. And I think what our guys will do is we'll try to play the game the way he played.
How do you teach something about somebody who they were either very, very young or not even born yet, about somebody 20 years ago that they may not?
Well, the first thing we did is we told them about it, and Jerry Strom was here and he talked about it. But we showed them yesterday morning. We showed the film of him that's in the Hall of Fame. We brought that over and showed that to them so they could hear people talk about it. They could see footage of it, and they could try to get a feel for what it was like when everyone found out. And it's always been amazing to me that everybody in the state seems to know where they were when they heard the news that it was gone. And I think when that meeting ended yesterday, I think they had a pretty good feeling of what he meant to this program and how he's still very much a part of the family. And they walked by the memorial right in front of our locker room, and you wonder how much do they think about that. They see it every day. So they knew who he was, they knew what he meant, they've read that. But I think they have a much better feeling.
Do you remember where you were specifically when you first found out?
I just remember, hearing about it that night. I was an assistant at Notre Dame in '93. Because of when I had dinner, I've told this before, when I had dinner with Coach Davis in '88, I just got a commitment from him. And that was so early. And nobody did that back then. You were afraid to, like, was it right, was it not right? And Chris wanted to be a Hawk, and Tom wanted him in the program, and that was that. And he said, I think this kid's going to be really good. I remember taking interest to watch him play. I said, wow. You just didn't see guys that tall, with that kind of motor back then, that had that kind of skill set that could affect the game the way he did in so many different ways. And it seemed to energize his teammates in the entire building whenever he played. And I just remember thinking how horrible it was. This guy, in my mind, I was being objective. He was, without question, a first-round draft pick and an NBA player for a long time. And I just remember thinking, what would I feel like right now if that was one of our guys? If that was one of my teammates. And I just can't imagine. I hope that our guys understand that, when they think about that. We go to pregame meals all the time, together. And we leave together or leave separately. The whole idea that we get a phone call, we be called into a meeting, one of us is gone. I just can't imagine. And so I think there'll be so many people in that building with so many different emotions.
Adam and Gabe have played against a lot of experienced, high-caliber post people, but the experience that Wisconsin has and the style that they play and the precision that they seem to play in the post, what kind of challenges do they present for your post players?
Well, all three of them are playing incredibly well right now, and so is Kaminsky for that matter. He got poked in the eye last night. He was on his way, I think, to a big game. But you know, they all have kind of different games. Evans, Berger, and Brusewitz, you know, they're all really good, they're all really experienced, but they're all different. So you gotta understand who does what, and how we're gonna play them. You gotta be able to fight the post, you gotta be able to play them from the perimeter, because they, you know, they can shoot. They can drive it, all three of them can drive it. You know, it's rare that you have your 3, 4, 5, all can shoot threes, all can post up, all can drive it. And that's pretty complete right there.
Do you worry about your players feeling too much pressure Saturday to make sure everything works out right?
No, I think there's enough pressure just from, you know, game to game, and, you know, they just trying to remember what they have to do.
A lot of people are going to wonder about you, Bo Ryan. I think in Philadelphia or in Chicago, you guys went out to dinner or something, or talked Phillies baseball before.
We had the Big Ten before the Big Ten Media Day. We go in the night before. We all have dinner. Jim Delaney addresses all of us, and you know, it's essentially the start of the season. We sat together. And there's no issues there at all.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.